Roger.
Here.
Susan, you're here, you hear us?
I'm here.
Okay. We need a motion to approve the September 10th, 2025 minutes.
So move.
I'll second.
Passes. Visitor public comment. Nothing on the agenda, anything on the agenda tonight was not on the agenda. Okay. Here we go. We'll just move right into study commission tentative report. Discussion.
Oh, yeah, I have a couple of comments. Roger, I don't know if you wanted to say something first about what you did, and then I have a few little oops.
So I did not print out my email that accompanied the report. Do we have internet access here that I could pull that up?
We do. What are you looking for? Your version?
Just my
the report?
report that to which I attached the report that I sent. Maybe let's see it. Oh. No,
Oh,
because I listed some of the things that need to be addressed. And my gray matter does not recall.
I mean, I can go get you the password for the Wi-Fi if that's what you want, but if it's not in what's.
it's not.
No,
Okay.
I should have put it out.
Susan probably has it memorized too.
Oh, yeah.
The Wi-Fi
I
password.
was just bringing it up.
It's like death and taxes something, but I don't know. There's something else.
Capital D, death and taxes, 225.
And we'll change it after this meeting, but.
Death and.
Because there's so many people that just got that.
Yeah, right, 225. And is that CF link?
Correct.
All right, thanks. Yeah, so let me, I can only handle one thing at a time. Capital D. Yes. 225. Yeah, so a couple of things, this is what I'm trying to pull up, a couple of things that I mentioned in the email that should be addressed. I guess one of them I could start with, Susan. Do you plan any kind of formal minority report as such? I know that's an option that is available.
I think that'll be part of tonight's discussion
Okay.
and motion.
Okay.
So
That's fine, I just wanted to get that understanding before we move forward. And then, as I mentioned in my email, I do have some questions about what the certificate should look like in the final report, both the certificate for the current form of government as well as the certificate for the proposed plan. I guess it's not a form of government as much as a plan of government. The only change we're making, and I don't remember the statute number, you probably remember, Susan, is to the one minor paragraph that addresses self-government powers or local or general government authority. That's the only change that we're making, but I don't know if we need to print out into this final report the entire certificate, which lists all the statutory references to what our current form of government is. Maybe that might be a question for Justin or Mr. Weaver, one or the other. I just felt that the way it was looking right now, it didn't look complete compared to some of the other final reports that I've looked at. So I guess that's as much a question as anything.
well, I think that, so Mr. Chairman, I apologize, but so section 5A, the certificate of the existing plan follows drafts as prepared or recommended with the local government center. Obviously, our draft, our certification of the current form of government is completely dependent upon our form of government. So I will say that the 2014 report for existing form of government was one sentence. And so so I wasn't sure. I mean, the commission, I mean, that is our existing form of government. And I think that, let's see, evaluate sufficiency, amend as necessary. I don't know what else you want to put in there. I mean, it's,
Well, I don't have any examples in front of me, but just looking at some of the other reports, and I don't have access to any of the samples, or at least I didn't look for them, frankly, from the local government center to see what.
yeah, we have their old booklet, but so I don't know. I mean, there's there's a there's a template, but there's not a, maybe we're saying that this is the current form of government, the certification. I've looked at some, they're shorter, they're longer. So, I mean, I know that we've discussed during our meetings that under our form of government, any amendments that we made, for example, the appointed city judge as opposed to an elected, in terms of the recipe, is that, I mean, how detailed do you want to get?
Yeah, I don't know. That's my question. I mean, do we need to have that full certificate with the citations of every option that is our current certificate, whatever that is? Again, I'm not sure what that is. What is the certificate and how detailed does it need to be? If it's sufficient, I mean, if the 2014 final report just said no change to the city manager, commission manager form of government, then I guess we could say we have what you wrote in the first report that we reviewed last meeting. Which, if that's fine, then I'm fine with it too. I just raised the question for sufficiency, and I don't know the answer to that question. And I don't know that any of us do here, but maybe you, I mean, we can go with it.
That would be my inclination.
Yeah.
I think the simpler the better.
Yep,
Yeah, okay.
yep. Susan, do you have any thoughts on that?
No, I'm good.
So at this time, do we want to look at the changes?
Unless Roger had wanted to report on his report on the
Sure.
changes.
Well, just to follow up on that last question, so in the current report on page 10, where section 5 talks about the existing form, we do have in there, Columbia Fall Study Commission hereby certifies that the current form of government is the commission manager. I don't have anything in the proposed form for that certificate. So maybe the statutory citation that discusses the option of self-government powers versus general government powers, maybe I should stick that in there, because that is the essential change. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep.
all right. Then I will make sure I do that on the next tentative report draft. Which, by the way, is another question.
Yeah.
This is a tentative draft or a tentative report.
Yes.
We don't really have the final report until after our public meeting. And take any consideration. I mean, I don't know, maybe the public's gonna say, what the heck are you guys doing? You really want to do this? Do we want to spend the money? And then we should probably reflect on it at least. And
Right.
note that in the report, which I think would then be added to the final report.
Right, we have the hearing on November 19th, if we can get it in. And then at the January 21st meeting, after we've taken in the hearing information and so forth, we adopt a final report.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it goes to the council,
And what was the November date?
19th. That's at 7 PM. The January 21st is at 5.
And then I guess before we get into other changes, the only observations that I have on this draft was, I do have a few clippings of Hungry Horse News articles that I will copy, and I can make those into PDFs so that they can be attached into another draft. And I guess the minutes of this meeting, I'm not sure when they'll be prepared, or if we just want to wait and include them in the final report. Doesn't,
They'll just have to be approved before, they're published,
yeah. Okay,
but I mean, I can have them soon.
okay, well. I think that without referring to my email notes, I think I covered everything.
Okay. So do you wanna go over your changes?
Sure, my suggested changes. Talking about adding things to the information, I didn't see in here anywhere where there was a copy of the first public hearing notice. I didn't see that on any of my reports. I know.
We have that in the, is that in with the minute appendixes?
No, well, not in our packets. So it's not in with the stuff
Okay.
that we adopted that I saw.
Okay, let me
I
read.
could have missed it for sure. Okay, so here's a few little changes that I would like to see. I'm suggesting it on the first page, which is the letter to the citizens. Under the second paragraph, third line, after if approved, I'd like to say, if approved by the voters, then a change in the government, and then, does that make sense?
Yes,
And then at the end of that sentence, I would like to add, and still allow all general government powers. Now, I want to make sure that I am correct, that even though we go to self-government powers, we still have all the general government powers. I was under the impression we did when Dan was here.
that would be my understanding. because
That was my
otherwise, if we
understanding.
Don't have those powers, we all,
What powers do we,
I
yeah,
guess. We don't have a city manager, so yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I think it should be mentioned because that is something that we need to
Because-
think about.
because we're not throwing those out. Those are still gonna be there. We're
No,
just,
that's what
adding-
the public will look at too, to say, well, okay, this is all gone, we're doing this.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
needs to be clear that no, we're not changing. Yeah,
No,
we're just adding to it.
that's a great point.
So,
Point of order, though, Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, that's
Yeah.
not how the statute is written.
Right.
So the two options clearly, so the existing form is commission manager with general powers. We're recommending commission manager with self-government powers. So in those statutory nuances that we reviewed significantly on September 10th, and from Article 9, from the Constitution and the statute, you either have general powers or you have self-government powers. So the way this is written, though, is existing form, commission manager with general powers. Now, in no way or shape or form are we changing commission manager. But in as Dan Clark calls it, the recipe, it would say then, like, we're recommending commission manager with self-government powers and would no longer reference general government powers. Does that, I mean, I wouldn't want to, you don't get to reference both, I guess is my point. You either are a government with general powers or a government with self-government powers.
okay, but we're really not taking away all the laws and things that we can do under law, which is the general government powers. So we're still
We-
doing those. Unless you're saying under self-government powers, we have to list every single thing that we do. I don't believe that's proper.
Well, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that the way the self-government powers section is written.
I know what you're
So
saying.
with general powers, there's another section. So you're right. We're not gonna, I would not foresee the city, should voters approve self-government powers. I wouldn't see the city wouldn't have to, I don't believe the city would have to go through and rewrite ordinances, update municipal code. But that is a good question for the attorney, because in many sections of municipal code, we refer to state statute. Because you don't want to be out of compliance with state statute. So would that, I think that's a good question.
Yeah, because when Dan was here, he said, there was no downside for us to do self-government powers. It would be basically in addition to what we're already doing.
So, but that is a good point, because then if you have self-government powers, do you have to rewrite your municipal code?
Yeah. Yes.
Which, Mr. Chairman, I guess just as an observation, maybe that's why historically self-government powers are aligned with the charter. Because the charter basically lays out everything that the city government can do. It's just an observation. We're not doing the charter, and so, yeah, what do we have?
I think that is a question for the city attorney, how can we
Yeah.
word that, how can we?
Yeah, and
Because I think, from a public perspective, they're gonna wonder what's happening there,
Yeah.
so,
it's that, to me, that's important
Yes.
for the public to know.
yes.
So
we-
under, so
Um,
pursuant to the MCA's self-governing powers as a plan of government. So 73114 MCA defines the commission manager form of government. Sub option B references 733021, which is general governing powers. And then the next sub option refers to, general. So the options refer to general governing powers or self-governing powers. So the wording, you're right, the wording of that is pretty important.
we have a copy of Shoto's charter. And in their first sentence, and this might be the wording, it says the city of Shoto shall have all powers not prohibited by the Constitution of Montana. That's the wording that we need to have. And it says the laws of Montana or this charter, and ours would be or. Well, self-government powers, I guess, but instead of saying all the general government powers, we would just say all powers not prohibited by the Constitution of Montana. And the laws of Montana. That's how they worded it,
That makes sense. to me.
because they still get to do everything that's allowed.
So if you're not adopting a charter, would the council then, so like I said, assuming voters approve self-governing powers, would then the city have to adopt an ordinance with that language, right? That would be, the Title I, right? Because of the way municipal code's written. Because I mean, Mr. Clark was really adamant about, hey, I used to recommend charters, but I don't. And we reviewed both Shoto's and Whitefish and found nothing in their charter that changed how we conduct business or how they conduct business. So, but that could be then you adopt a municipal code that recognizes the plan of government.
So instead of my wording, all general government powers, it would just say, cross off general government, just all powers not prohibited,
Mm-hmm, yes.
if I can spell it, by the Constitution, of Montana and laws of Montana. That wording might be changed or whatever, but that gets away from the general government wording. Okay, so,
I think that clarifies.
but we still, still, I like the question of, will we have to rewrite how much of the municipal code that we already have, but. Okay, so,
Say, sorry, Mr. Chairman, so that's a question you want to pose to the city attorney?
mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then on page 4. What did I do here? Not under the right. Oh, at the very top, where it says this final report, I think we should add this final report by the Local Government Study Commission. At the very top. Just so it's clear who wrote the report,
So,
on page 4 at the very top.
Okay.
And then to go back to Connie's second question about the first public hearing. What if we amend Appendix C, Study Commission meeting minutes and public hearings?
And just put both public hearings there or any. public
Under the
hearing.
appended and under the appendices, because then that would have the notice of the hearing and obviously the minutes. So
Yeah,
Okay,
sounds good to me.
good. All right.
Okay, let's see, now I'm on page 6. Did you get that one, John? Did you get that last one
I think so.
That was appendix C.
for the public hearing?
So study commission minutes and other field notices.
Okay, let's see. I'm on page 6, under May 15th. And the first paragraph in the very bottom of that paragraph, again, where Mr. Clark says there's no downside to having self-government powers, I would like to add in there the same thing we added before. Because it's, and that the powers are not prohibited. Or all, it still allows all powers not prohibited by the Constitution. So that it's clear again.
Okay.
Okay.
And the next paragraph at the end where it says that I asked for some cities what they were doing, what we didn't, can we add at the end of that sentence that I didn't get any answers?
Yeah, yeah, it was,
I didn't get
it
it.
wasn't a rhetorical question, it was, but that's what it looks like.
Yeah. And let's see,
Okay, and where was that again, comments?
it's the second paragraph under May 15th on page 6,
Okay.
at the very bottom of the second paragraph. And then on the last paragraph of that page, we're talking about the council was allowed to call for the election of this, and the city attorney had talked about what would be required of the council if we went that route, and that it would require the petition and so forth. I would like to see what is involved in doing a petition. I would like to see that section included. You know, like what do you have to do the petition? Does that make sense?
So Connie, that wasn't on June 18th, though. That was September. That was our last meeting.
Right.
That
So
was, that, that discussion was in September.
Okay, it doesn't say that
September
under the
10th.
code?
So
doesn't
this,
say- It doesn't say.
this
that under the
draft,
code?
yeah, we didn't have, let's see, so let's, that September 10th section, does
When it-
that have,
With the attorney?
Yeah, it does.
yeah,
Anyways, I'd like to see something about what's
noted.
involved to do the petition, wherever it would fit in.
Okay,
Um,
figure out a paragraph or. It wouldn't be necessarily Justin's thoughts, but just sort of an
yeah, because I,
actual statement, yeah.
exactly. And then on page 8, my last thing or whatever, under, I think the second from the bottom paragraph. God, I hope I didn't sound like that, not the city council's ability. I would kind of like to, I thought I had said something about, how did I want to say it, that it shouldn't be the city council decision about the change of government or the change of plan, as the citizens voted for this, and the study commission should see it through since the funding has been levied and appropriated. I would like to see that added. I thought I said something like that.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, I was just trying to recollect from my foggy brain what you did say. So, yeah, that'll be good. Good.
So member Konopasky, that discussion about the petition is in the paragraph immediately above that.
Yeah, so
And then-
petition maybe would be a good place in here, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's where kind of mid-meeting, the city attorney changed the verbiage. So,
Right.
and cited the petition, so.
Yeah, so that's all I had. I mean, there are no biggies, but
No, I think Commissioner Konopasky, those are good points.
Do we need to do anything to consider that in your report or no?
a motion to make the changes,
Yeah,
I don't know. Do we?
And some sort?
Can I make the motion to my own changes?
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
I make motion to accept my suggested changes.
Your second, but,
I said.
all in favor? Aye.
I,
This was queuing.
oh, that's okay. You can help.
Okay. Well, this time, would we look at any other changes or things we'd like to add to that report? Other than, we still need the verification from the city attorney, right?
Mhm.
Eric, you kind of got that, what that question was?
Yeah, I'll have him watch this video
Okay.
and he can take his notes and then comment accordingly.
Who prepares the public hearing notice? Who does
City
that?
clerk,
Do we have Barb do that?
yeah, the city clerk would prepare the public hearing notice.
Okay.
So at this point, if we agree that changes, etc., can we set the? We can't set the public meeting yet, though, can we? Because we still,
Well,
where are we there?
I think I would make the motion to adopt the amended
Okay.
tentative report. As amended, when you
Okay.
said that.
So you just made the motion, is there a second
Yeah.
on that?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I,
Susan?
Aye.
Good.
so we can schedule the hearing
Good.
based on that, right, Susan?
That's correct. Yeah, this was what would be presented to the public.
Right,
And that, we're looking at November 19th for that, correct?
right, it's 7 o'clock.
At 7 o'clock.
So what would the notice say? What would be in the notice? Just that
It's
we're
a standard legal notice of public hearing. The Columbia Falls Study Commission has prepared the tentative draft report and is recommending a change in the plan of government
Okay.
from general government to self-governing powers. And we encourage all citizens to attend the standard boilerplate language.
yeah.
It would
It doesn't
include
have to be-
written testimony, right? Just a little paragraph, and then the staff would just, the tentative report can be on the website, and it can be printed. And we know that, like, right now, like, obviously not all the minutes are going to be in there, right? Because when it's final and bound and before it gets submitted to the county and the state or wherever all it goes, then all of those appendices, everything gets attached to the news articles, the final minutes, right? Because we'll have final minutes from January 21st. So it all gets put together, but here's the basis for the report. But yeah, it would be a pretty standard public hearing. Study commission's going to present their tentative report. Here's the recommended change, and attend the meeting. So
Would we have enough time to do the 2 notices before the 19th? It looks
yeah.
like, and
Yep.
Roger, you would have the revised tentative plan.
Yeah, when would the first notice?
Do we put it in the Daily Interlake on Sundays, or what do we do?
Yeah.
Is that
Usually Sundays or Wednesdays, because of the publication. But let's see, what day is it now? So it's Wednesday. Notice could go to the newspaper. Well, you don't want it too far out. It could be published Sunday, November 2nd,
That's what I was
and
thinking.
Sunday,
And
November 9th.
That's what I was thinking.
And that gives people plenty of time.
Yep.
And of course, the staff always puts notices on the website and on that bulletin board by the manager's office. So that notice would go up even before it's in the paper.
Sounds good.
And I can't tell if Chris Peterson is there, but Hungry Horse News always does a great job putting out a informational that they've adopted their report, holding a hearing. Is Chris sitting there?
No.
No,
Oh, okay. Well, it can even be sent to him, right? Or he'll ask City Manager Hanks tomorrow, what did I miss? So, but yeah, it can get the word out. So yeah, if it's published the Sunday the 2nd and Sunday the 9th, and then our meeting is after that.
yep, sounds good.
So, Mr. Chairman, being a deadline oriented kind of guy that procrastinates until he knows exactly what the deadline is, when would this revised report need to be available?
October
Okay,
31st.
November 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay,
By
no
night.
later than
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah,
That's
'cause I would
correct.
post it prior to the public notice so people can find something to read about. Otherwise, if we post it and there's nothing to read about, then
Right. Are we going to entertain a minority report? Are we gonna do anything there?
Well, Mr. Chairman, thank you for asking. And Member Hopkins asked earlier. I have spent a lot of time since our September 10th meeting, still looking for a reason a purpose for self-governing powers. I was looking at development code, development standards, and I haven't found one yet. And I guess I'm still of the opinion that I just don't, it's just enough of a complicated subject, right? To say we want self-governing powers in case there's a need in the future. My gut is, though, I just wish I could find just some segment that I could say, if this city had self-governing powers, this could be addressed. And I was going back through the Malupa, and Manager Hanks can appreciate that too. I was looking at, is there something in here? Is there something that if this city had self-governing powers that we could push back a little bit, right? Because I still, in my gut, I still want to give a reason to have self-governing powers, but I haven't found one yet. But I can tell you that that public hearing will be very important to me. And so when we go to January 21st to adopt that final report, if my gut is still, I don't think we should be doing it right now, you will have a minority report. If I see something, hear something, where it becomes evident that this is beneficial to the city, then that final report will be a 3-0 vote instead of a 2-1. So hence, haven't written a minority report yet because we're not there. I have to answer the question first, and that public hearing will be important.
I understand that.
Well, Mr. Chairman, so a minority report, is it just for the opposition or is it also in favor of?
It's the opposition. So if the majority votes for this recommendation, the minority report is what did the other study commissioner, what did that one? What was she thinking in this case?
Yeah.
So, but I'm not, just so you know, I haven't given up. I'm still looking for
Well,
what if,
this is my,
right?
my side of it, that I don't know if I'll get to present it or whatever, but, I have written down something and I like to look at things in a simple thing instead of all this paperwork or whatever. And this is what I come up with, and this is what I think should be presented to the public, since we don't have something specific. So I think we have the opportunity to be proactive for the benefit of the citizens of Columbia Falls by pursuing self-government powers. We will still have all the current powers like we talked about under the Montana Constitution, but we'll also have flexibility if a need arises within the next 10 years, which won't be till the next study commission, if approved by the voters at that time. With all the changes and challenges in the last few years and the unknown future needs, there is no downside to recommending this option. The voters already approved the financing for this. To pursue it at later cost, it would cost more and require additional steps, such as petitions, hearings, resolutions, elections, staff time, which we've already done. And so I would hope we could provide the citizens with a clear and simplified picture of why this recommendation is a benefit to the community. That's my opinion.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I second that opinion.
Oh, Connie, I think that was well said. And
Yeah.
I think in that intro letter of October 22nd, that's the language that should be in that.
right.
Like, I know we're saying here, we're presenting this, but I think that somewhere you should make that in somewhat of legalese, that first page says that. But that's what you and Roger voted for, is the what if in the future. And
Yeah,
and I'm still not quite there, right? Because I'm still like, what's the benefit to the city? And gosh, that goes back to that June meeting, right? Where we're like, so what can we do? What do we want to do? So, and I've been following the other study commissions, as, you know, we're all kind of wrapping up work and looking at reports and seeing what others are doing and or not doing. And, you know, so I kind of review that too and say, okay, what else are people looking at? Haven't found a report with self-governing powers that where they cited something. Oh, actually, I haven't found one that's recommending a change, but I'm still, because I agree with you, the future and the legislative sessions. I just, but that's why the hearing is important, and even getting written comments in, right? Because people might not come to the meeting, but they might submit comments, which will be great. You know what, there's something. And that's why I was really looking at the development code, because the legislature really ratcheted it down and said, you know, this is now your maximum building height. This is, you throw out the parking requirements, do this, do that. But is there something that they haven't ratcheted down that is important to Columbia Falls? That's what in the development code. Is there something that later on we'd want to have authority over?
But if they vote this down, you still have that option down the road.
Yeah, I hope that we could get somehow the importance of the public hearing so that we have.
Mr. Chairman, I move that,
Yeah, just point of order. I mean, from the, you know, a minority report versus those that voted for favorable, why wouldn't your comment just be in the section in the introduction on
That's what I was gonna do.
page 3? There's a section there, Commissioner Nicosia opposed putting the amendment. You would just put your paragraph right above that, because everybody that's favorable should have an opportunity to explain.
That's, yeah,
Right. So,
okay.
okay.
I just gave it to Roger.
Sorry.
That's all right. No.
As we were making amendments to make
Yeah.
changes and.
Okay.
Mr. Hanks, there's in the template from local government center, they have a space holder for minority report is why there's a reference.
No, I agree with that completely. Just Commissioner Konopowski wanted to, you know, make her statement and she was trying to figure out where that goes.
Right.
It goes right there.
I like it, yes.
for clarity, are you saying that the letter to the citizens or on page 3? I heard you say page 3.
I was below that bold section where on September 10th, Commissioner Hopkinson, you know, voted to recommend amending executive powers. And then there's another next paragraph, Commissioner Nicosia, you know, because that's not minutes from the different meetings. That's an overview of the whole process.
Mhm.
And I think that would be an appropriate time to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can put we, not I.
No.
So you're saying on page 8, that last Commissioner Hopkins made a motion,
No, I would
voted
say
aye.
page, well, it depends on which page 3 you look at, page 3 of the report, which
Yes.
is under the introduction.
To the citizens, of the city.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's where I thought that
Oh, okay,
when
I'm
she
sorry.
made her statements. Yes,
got
page 3, like in there.
Okay, we're good.
Okay.
So the page 3 that we're talking about right now is the collated page 3, letters to the citizens.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
Oh, yes.
Within the introduction.
within the introduction.
I was thinking in that page
Yeah,
3.
That's what I
Yeah.
understood.
That's when I was confused with what Commissioner Nicosia said about the
Okay.
letter to the citizens, thinking this was more of this first page, but it does include the.
I see. So. Are you talking like after the third paragraph? I'm just curious. This 1, 2, 3.
Or
4,
after
5th paragraph?
After Susan's right here.
Okay. Okay.
Or right after the bolded section, on September
Okay.
10th.
Okay.
Are you happy with that, Commissioner Popatsky? Is that
Yes.
okay?
No, I'd be glad to have it in there.
I don't know, since we amended everything else, we need.
I don't know, you can vote amendment on that to make a change or we just part of the
Well, part of the amendment.
I think
Can
it's just part of the report, a working report.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to
it amend it?
amend
Yeah.
that for an addition there, but. My God.
I rely on your commissioners'
Well,
judgment.
well, you're bold. Um. So, at this point, we're kind of proposing for the next agenda, but we've already kind of got that established, don't we?
Well, I have one more thing.
Okay,
Sorry. I gave the city manager an updated timeline
Oh,
schedule.
right.
And hopefully we can get one posted on the board too. That timeline that I gave you.
Okay.
And then we'll all get another copy of it too.
Great.
That's it. I'll shut up.
So, does anyone else have anything at this point?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to thank Commissioner Nicosia for the continued effort to find
Yeah.
a reason, a rationale, a common sense, something we can present.
I like that too.
Yeah,
She would
Yeah,
always
also-
tell that for that, though.
yeah.
Can it be e-bikes? In any of those? There aren't any laws on the books yet.
Yeah.
And they're crashing down the alleys and everything.
They did. The legislature updated Title 61, actually giving local governments authority
Oh,
to
okay.
adopt rules.
Yeah.
So
That's the first one that came to mind for me too.
You know, and I might just mention too, that in conversation with Senator Dave Berg, who represents our district. There was some conversation at one time, whenever the legislature puts forces of change upon municipalities, that it would also say, with the exclusion of local governments with self-government authority. So that, I mean, if cities and counties have already decided that this is of value to them and importance to the local community, why in the heck is the legislature that, you know, some of those people live 500 miles away in different communities deciding what's important for Columbia County? So, but of course, Commissioner's firm is in the minority right now, and that didn't happen with the Maluba and I don't know, how many other things, Susan, do you know how many other things got through the legislature that would be added to the 30 that already appeared? And I forget what is that, 7-1-111 or something like that?
they haven't published it yet.
Okay,
It's still being codified. That's half scary.
yeah,
Given that it's October 22nd, like 7 months after they adjourned, right? So, because that's what I was looking for too. But I know there were a lot of bills signed. So, but we'll get there.
Well, I
So,
think
John, you wondered how to get people at the meeting.
Yeah.
Our meeting notice could include that you're making your famous chocolate chip cookies.
I think that's fine because I was gonna make it tonight, but you weren't here. So I think we'll go ahead and I'll bake up a storm before the 19th and we'll
Yeah.
offer them.
So,
Great.
I have one item for the commissioners to consider from the city attorney today, was referencing the open house coming up and what was published in the paper about Commissioner Hopkins representing the city commission at what is a political event. His opinion is it's probably improper unless the commission has asked you to do that. You doing that as a private citizen is one thing, but you in the role as a city commissioner representing the city commission without the commission's could be viewed as improper.
So it's fine for the candidates that are.
I'm not talking about the candidate stuff, but in the paper, it said that Commissioner Hopkins, a member of the Local Government Study Commission, will be providing an overview of the study commission. And now you're representing the city at a political event.
if this commission were to.
Well, I mean, that's where it's kind of gray, you know, but definitely the commission should be aware of it and almost authorize you to represent the commission in that role. But you're basically you're representing the city in a formal function at a political event, which is.
No, that's fine. I mean, we'll have a public hearing and that's, you know, that's fine. What if somebody asks a question, since it was published as a comment, can I respond or somebody respond and, well, or do I have to say, I'm sorry, I can't comment?
No, I think you can make comments. It's just the representation that you're representing a formal commission as a single member without permission of the,
Okay,
of the commission or the city or the, depending on what it was. So if a city council member were to go somewhere and say, this is the city's priorities and this is what we're doing, they're representing, your power is one of three,
gotcha.
not,
Well, and I can certainly just make a disclaimer that
Yeah.
I am not representing the commission, or any other individuals. Actually, have them suffice.
Yeah. And maybe we need a follow-on discussion, with Justin on that, on how that's couched. But the way the newspaper article read, it implied that you're representing a formal commission of the city
Sure, okay.
as an individual commissioner.
For point of order, was that for the, meet the candidate thing?
Yes.
So why on earth did it, I mean, why did it reference the study commission or Roger as study commission?
Well, since I wrote the press release, I just stuck that in there as an opportunity to present.
Oh,
the
okay.
final report.
I'm like, then why did the newspaper do that?
That's right.
Okay,
No, Chris
I get it.
He writes, my press releases almost verbatim, so it's his fault.
And
Okay.
just an observation as an individual, but also, from the city, the comments for this in the September 10th minutes about the federal government doing the mass firings and layoffs of federal employees, and even the local government controlled by the state legislature seems kind of political for an apolitical city and a apolitical organization. But that's just an observation of mine, no recommendation. Just want to make that comment.
Yeah, no, I recognize it can be taken that way, but I think it's also factual.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
But-
I think we're there.
Okay. Yeah, but thank you for the opportunity to make a comment.
Absolutely, thank you. Anything else? All right, motion to adjourn.
I make motion to adjourn.
Second.
So adjourned.
We're adjourned. See you next time.
All right,
Yes, Susan.
see you, Susan.
Hey, your
Bye.
face,
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
your face looks better.
Oh, yes, it does. Healing
It's all
nicely.
healed up.
Stay on both feet, that's good.
I won't stop in Butte on my way back.
Good idea. I have to ask you a couple of things.
One second, let me get this thing to stop recording.